Assalamu alaikum. I once again welcome you to the program of Business Mathematics and Statistics. We have with us today Mr. Nadeem Ahmed Khan. Thank you for joining us, sir. As you may recall that in our last program, we discussed about the testing of hypothesis of a single population. We will extend this discussion towards the testing of hypothesis about the two populations, and we'll discuss the uses of z-tests and t-tests in it. So, sir, how do we compare the two population means, and what do we try to achieve from it?
Thank you, Sidra. Okay, I'm trying to explain the testing of hypothesis for two population means with the help of this example. Suppose we have two cities in Pakistan, one is Lahore and other is Faisalabad, and we have two different population parameters or the population mean. The population mean we have to compare in testing of the hypothesis. For this, we draw the sample of 40 people from Lahore and 35 from Faisalabad. And we also have 38 rupees 38,000 as a sample mean with the standard deviation of 6,000. And in Faisalabad, we have rupees 35,000 as the mean and the standard deviation of rupees 7,000. We have two population, one is Lahore and other is Faisalabad, and with the help of these two population, definitely we have two sample means and two standard deviation, and the sample size is 40 and 35. And according to the statistics, when we have the larger population size, we generally use Z.
When the sample size is greater than 30, we generally use the z-test.
Yes. If both samples contain at least 30 observations, we generally use Z distribution, and otherwise we use the T distribution. And we use the test statistics. The other testing of hypothesis procedure remains the same. We formulate the null hypothesis, alternate hypothesis. We formulate the level of significance, at what level we have to test the hypothesis. The only difference is we change the formula. Here we use the formula of where we can test the two population means with the help of the sample means. In the bottom of this slides, we can see the formula here is the x1 bar is the sample mean of one population, x2 bar is the sample mean of the second population, and in the denominator we have the different variances of population 1 and population 2.
Okay.
This is the steps how we use the testing of hypothesis for the two population mean. In step 1, we formulate the null hypothesis, as I earlier said. In step 2, the level of significance or the margin of error we select. In step 3, we find the appropriate formula. In a single population test, we use different formula. In two sample test, we use different formula. And at the step 4, we use the critical region method. As earlier in the last program, we explained the whole procedure of the critical region, and similar procedure we adopt here and reject or accept our null hypothesis according to the value of the sample statistics.
We can use p-values as well for finding out the
yes,
decision.
Exactly. The procedure is same, remaining same, the whole procedure. This is the numerical example of this. Suppose we have in the last example, we have 38,000 the sample mean of the first population and 35,000 the sample mean of the second population, and in the denominator we use variances of both the populations, and ultimately the value of Z is 1.98. And at the 1% level of significance, if this Z value is less than and equal to 2.3, so then we accept our null hypothesis, or we cannot reject our null hypothesis, because this test statistics value is less than the tabulated value of the Z. This is the simplest procedure of using the testing of population mean, two population mean in Z-test.
Sir, what other parameters can be tested by z-test for two populations?
In z-test, we also test the proportion of the population.
And sir, what is the proportion?
Proportion is, okay, I'm trying to explain with this example. Suppose a person advertising manager for a frozen food, and company is in the process of deciding between two TV commercials X and Y for a new frozen food to be introduced. Commercial X, this is a type of one commercial, runs for 20 seconds and random sample 20% awareness out of 200 respondents. It means out of 200, 20% respondents who watch the advertisement respond positively. In commercial Y, this commercial runs for 30 seconds and 25% awareness out of 200 respondents. It means out of 200, 25% of 200, it means 50 people respond after watching this advertisement. This 20% and 25% out of 200, this is known as the proportion of the population parameter.
Okay. And the proportion corresponds to or the research interest?
Definitely.
Okay.
Okay, and this is the simplest method. The whole testing procedure is remains same in proportion. We formulate the null hypothesis here. In hypothesis R, we generally use mu for the population parameter and pi for the population proportions. Here we have two proportion, one proportion for commercial X and one proportion for commercial Y. For commercial X, we have proportion 0.2, and for commercial Y, we have proportion 0.25. So the null hypothesis is pi 1 is less than and equal to pi 2. It means the commercial Y advertisement had the more effect on commercial X, on first commercial. Alternate, obviously the vice versa of the null hypothesis. We also use here the level of significance or margin of error. The only and the change is the test statistics. For population proportional test statistics, we generally use this formula at the bottom of this slides. We can see P is equal to N1, this is the sample size of the first sample, and P1, the proportion of the first sample, plus N2, the sample size of the second sample, and P2, the proportion of the second, and divided by N1 plus N2. And with the help of this, we get the value of the Z, and which is almost equal to 1.96. And level of significance, if the level of significance is 5%, and this is the one-tailed test we earlier discussed in testing of hypothesis program. The table value is 1.645. Here the Z, the calculated value is 1.19, and the tabulated value is 1.645. Again, the calculated value is less than the tabulated value. So we accept our null hypothesis, or we may say we do not reject our null hypothesis. This is the procedure of how we use the population proportion in two sample testing of hypothesis.
Okay. Okay, sir, if the sample size is less than 30, then we adopt the t-test as we explained in the last lecture.
Yes, Sidra, when we have a smaller sample, or generally the general practice is if the sample size is less than 30, then we use the t-test. The t-test, the testing of hypothesis procedure is same, and the only change here is also the only change in the sample statistics. But we have few assumptions when we use these t-test. The first assumption is both population must follow the normal distribution. The data is normally distributed according to the population. And the population must have the equal standard deviation or unknown standard deviation. Then we generally use t-test. Okay. And the third and the last is the samples are from independent population. These are the three assumptions. Then we use t-test. And the most important is when the sample size is less than 30. Okay, in t-test, basically we have two different type of test statistics. One is for the pooled standard deviation in one statistics or one formula. We use pool standard deviation. Here the samples are independent. We take the samples from the two different populations. Then we use this standard deviation in test statistics. And the formula is here, you can see in the slide, SP square is equal to N1 minus 1 multiplied by variance of sample 1 plus N2 minus 1 multiplied by variance of sample 2.
So we're pooling up the variances because of the equal variance assumption we created.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And that's why we use this term, the pooled variance, in the T statistics. Okay, I hope that this example also clarify the concept of the T statistics.
Okay.
A recent NHA study compared the highway fuel economy of domestic and imported passenger cars. A sample of 15 domestic cars revealed a mean of 13.7 km per liter with a standard deviation of 0.24 kilometers per liter. And similarly, a sample of 12 imported cars revealed a mean of 13.9 km per liter with a standard deviation of 0.39. At the 5% level of significance, can the NHA conclude that the kilometer per liter is higher on the imported car? This is the best example of the t-test. We have a smaller sample and we have a two independent population. One is imported car and other is the domestic cars. And we can compare and we can conclude some results.
And we are assuming that the populations are normally distributed and they have equal variances.
Equal variances, yes. These are the systematic steps of using the t-test. First we formulate the null hypothesis and the alternate hypothesis. In step 2, we generally define the level of significance at what level we test our hypothesis. And in step 3, find the appropriate test statistics. Both samples are less than 30. So we use the t-distribution. This is the procedure of t statistics. And in step 4, we define the critical region and we accept or reject null hypothesis with reference to the tabulated value of the t. But there is the one important thing. In z-test, we use the normally distributed area table. And in t-table, this is a different type of table. We use a terminology degree of freedom. And we can define the degree of freedom as the total number of observation minus number of parameters. Suppose we have here 2 parameters.
Okay.
One is the population mean of the sample mean and other is the population mean of the sample 2. So here the total number of observation is sample 1 plus sample 2.
Okay.
So the degree of freedom is N1 plus N2 minus 2. Basically we have 2 parameters.
Okay.
And we use this degree of freedom figure to identify the tabulated value of t from the t table.
Okay.
And we can use this.
And then we can compare it to the test statistic and make our decision.
And then we decide whether this is this hypothesis we may reject or accept. And this is some calculations of the pooled variance. We earlier discussed this pooled variance, and this pooled variance is 9.91. And this is the t statistics. It's similar with the z statistics, but there is a difference. In z statistics we use the separate variances, but here we use the pooled variance. And with this SP square we find with this formula, and this SP square in the t statistics is the similar with the z statistics, x1 bar minus x2 bar divided by pooled variance and the number of observations. And the value of this t statistics is minus 1.64, and which is, if the greater from the table value, we may reject our null hypothesis, or if this t value is less than the tabulated value, we accept our null hypothesis. This is the procedure of t statistics.
Okay, so this is all about the testing of hypothesis about two populations, and we discussed the two parameters, the mean and the proportion of the two populations. Okay, sir, moving on to a whole new thing. What is a goodness of fit test?
Sidra, this goodness of fit generally we use in the chi-square, and the chi-square is also a testing of hypothesis technique, and with the help of the chi-square generally we basically test the independence or the association of the population. And in goodness of fit or in chi-square or F distribution, we generally test the variability among the values, among the observations of the sample.
Okay.
So the goodness of fit, basically we use different type of statistical distribution like binomial distribution, normal distribution, Poisson distribution, or maybe the some other distributions, exponential distribution we may use. And we compare the value of these distribution with the observed value. Observed value, the actual value we get from the sample. And this value we compare with the probability distribution estimated value.
Okay.
The value which we get from the sample is known as the observed value, and the value which we get with the help of the some distribution, maybe the binomial, maybe the Poisson distribution, and this is known as the expected value. This is the goodness of fit. If these values are comparable and close to each other, we say this is the good fit, and we use the chi-square technique to test this hypothesis.
Okay, so chi-square is a test statistic that is used to evaluate this closeness between the observed and expected values.
Exactly, Sidra. Basically, this is the procedure. All the testing of hypothesis steps are same. We formulate the null hypothesis, but here the language or the format of the null hypothesis is a little bit different. We generally use, suppose we use the binomial distribution for the goodness of fit. So generally we formulate the null hypothesis. The data fits a binomial distribution. It means the binomial distribution and the observed value had the good association. Similarly, we also formulate the alternate hypothesis, then we make the margin level of significance, and the important thing is the test statistics, because in today's program we differentiate different test statistics with the help of the formula. What formula we use?
Okay.
And here this in the white box we have the formula of the chi-square. This is OI, this is the observed value of the data, and EI, this is the expected value of the data. And we may use this formula, and with the help of this formula definitely we have the some value of the chi-square. Chi-square is a distribution, or it is a test statistics which may use, and the other critical region formula, other acceptance of or rejection of the null hypothesis is same throughout the chi-square procedure.
Okay, and we have different tables for chi-square as we had for
Exactly.
For Z and T
yes, we had a different table for the Z test, we have different table for the T test, and similarly we have a different table for the chi-square.
Okay.
But after this computerization and SPSS and other statistical package, we generally don't use these tables.
We use p-value.
P-value concepts, yes.
Okay.
We earlier discussed in the last program.
Okay, sir. What is a contingency table, and what does it represent, and how do we make useful conclusions from it?
Basically, contingency table, when we have two or more variables. Suppose
two or more qualitative variables.
Yes, qualitative variable, or we may discuss the attributes of the data. Suppose a data which had two or more attributes. Like this, suppose a student of maybe the MBA programs, they had two subjects, one is statistics and other is mathematics, and they had two groups. In contingency table, we try to find out the relationship between these two variables, the groups and the subject. Okay, there is some association between the groups and the subjects or not. Basically, this we use contingency table for this purpose.
And if there is no association, that means both the attributes are independent of each other.
Exactly.
Okay, sir, if we can go back to the previous slide. How do we read a contingency table?
Contingency table, basically we have, it's like a mathematical matrix form. We have the rows and columns.
Okay.
And we define one attribute in rows and one attribute in columns.
Okay.
Here the subjects are used in the columns, and we use rows to identify the group of the subjects. Suppose we can say the group 1. In group 1, we have 10 students which opt the statistics subject.
Okay.
And group 1 had 40 students which they opted for
mathematics.
Maths.
Okay.
And in the last column, we had the
totals
Total
of
of
the
this.
of group 1 and
Exactly.
group 2 individually, and stats and maths individually.
Exactly.
And we can make these contingency tables in different softwares such as Excel and SPSS and other
Yes,
softwares.
you,
as
you
well.
can use
Right.
any software.
Right.
Especially the spreadsheets are the more beneficial
Okay.
to use this.
Okay.
And in chi-square test, the rest of the procedure, the formula is the same. And for the contingency table, we generally formulate hypothesis in this language. The null hypothesis of the chi-square test is that there is no association between the row and column variables. It means there is no relationship between the rows and columns.
both the
Or
attributes.
in the last example, there is no association between subjects and the groups. Both are the independent. And
Okay.
similarly, we formulate the alternate hypothesis and vice versa, that an association between the two variables. There is some relationship. Both the population or both the groups are dependent.
Okay. Sir, what if we take both the samples from the same population? Would it be responsible for any relationship among the samples?
Sidra, in T statistics, as we discussed the pooled variance, in pooled variance we take the sample from the two different populations, and both the samples are independent. And the dependent samples are the samples that are paired or related in the same fashion, or maybe the samples are drawn from the same population.
Sir, for instance?
For instance, I tried to explain with this example. If you wish to buy a car, you would look at the same car at two or more different dealers and compare the price. The car dealers is the same population, and you go to the two different samples, the dealer 1 and dealer 2. Both the dealers belong from the same population, and the population, you may say, the dealers of the town. This is
Okay.
the same population, and
Okay.
you select the two different samples to compare the prices.
Okay.
And if you wish to measure the effectiveness of a new diet, you would weight the dieters at the start and at the finish of the program.
Okay.
The person is remain the same. You test his or her weight before the dieting program and after the dieting program.
Okay.
The instrument or the respondent remains the same. This is
Okay.
basically the dependent sample, or we may use here the paired T statistics formula. In earlier pooled T statistics, we basically pooled the population variance or the sample variance
Of independent samples.
for independent sample.
Okay.
But in dependent sample, we generally use this type of T statistics, and this is the D bar divided by SD over N. And this D bar is basically the difference of two sample observations. Okay, suppose this is the data. An independent testing agency is comparing the daily rental cost for renting a compact car from the Hertz and the Airways. These are the two renting agencies.
Okay.
A random sample of 8 cities revealed the following information at 5% level of significance. And these, in the first column we have the different cities, and in the second and third column basically we have the two different rental agencies. And in Atlanta, the first rental agency, Hertz, the price in dollar is 42. And the Avis in the same Atlanta city, the price of the Avis is $40 for some specific car. Similarly, we have the Chicago and the other cities, and we have the different data. But there is the one important thing. The rental companies is the single population. And in the single population, we have two cars data. Basically, we compare two cars, not the two respondents, not the two car rental services.
Okay.
Here we
Okay.
test the distribution of these cars. And in a paired T test, we have the similar steps for the testing of hypothesis. First, we draw the null hypothesis, and generally we formulate the null hypothesis as mu D, and D is the difference between the two sample or the population mean, that is equal to 0. And the alternate is obviously mu D is not equal to 0. Step 2 is the same, the level of significance, and in step 3 we use the T statistics. In the previous slides we show the T statistics, T is equal to D bar divided by SD over N under root. And the explanation of this formula is, this is here.
Okay.
This is, in the first column we have cities, and then we have the two rental companies, and this D is the difference. Here 42 minus 40 becomes 2, and in Chicago 56 minus 52 it's 4. And for use of this, we scale and D bar, we formulate the D bar, and we need the D square to find out the variance of this D. And here when we put all these value of D and SD in the formula of the T, paired T test statistics, the value of T is 0.894. And similarly, like the Z test, like the T test, this value of T test is 0.894, is less than the critical value or the P value of 0.2%, or this T statistics value is less than the tabulated value of T. So we accept our null hypothesis.
Okay.
It means the difference between the prices of two cars is the same in the different cities of the given population.
So this ends today's discussion. We hope that it was very fruitful for you. Thank you.